What up, what up, what up? It's your man Dame D, NYDC, two mics up, back again. So check this out. We here with the official premiere of season 4. That's right, season 4, y'all. Time flies when you having fun. And man, things only get better. And today's guest, man, I don't even know if y'all really ready to really get down with today's guest. You know, I'm super excited. Takes me back to my childhood. Well, I should say my childhood, but coming up in New York, man, hanging out in the streets, man, R&B was booming and blowing up. And you know, today's guest, man, it just takes me to a happy place. Let's have a little joy. Let's bring a little sunshine and a little joy to the conversation. Here's our sister right here, Sharissa right here. Yo, look, this is the smile, the joy, the love, the energy. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is how you kick off with your first episode. I'm gonna stop talking because this queen right here, man, she the real deal. Sis, Sharissa, please introduce yourself again.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharissa. I'm from the Bronx, New York, and I love to sing. My first album was No Half Steppin' on the Motown label. Some of the singles off of that album were No Half Steppin', All These Years, and Any Other Night.
Okay.
And then my second album was Every Beat of My Heart on the Virgin label. And some singles off of that was I Got Love, In Love with a Thug, featuring R. Kelly, and Something. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it right there. And she's so humble. And I mean, you know, you really have, and for those who really don't know, and you know, I want to get all up in your business, you know, and really ask some questions, you know, coming from the Bronx and everything, you know, what was your childhood like, you know, coming up, you know, as a young woman in the Bronx, and some of your experiences that helped mold you as the woman you are today?
Yeah. Well, I was born in Brooklyn. So originally my family is from Tompkins Projects in Brooklyn. When I was about going into the first grade, my mom and dad moved us up into the Bronx, which is Edenwald.
Okay.
So that's why I always say I'm born in Brooklyn, but I'm raised in the Bronx. My friends don't let me forget that. I'm from the Bronx. I'm from Edenwald. But my life, you know, we were never poor. You know, when my dad was there, you know, we weren't poor. Education was important, so we always had to go to school. Growing up, you know, I was the older sister, so I always had to fight and make sure they weren't picking on my little brother. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I would fight the boys too. So, you know, but, you know, growing up, life was good. You know, I don't think anything changed until I was about maybe 17, and my dad, you know, not left, but you know, my mom and dad, they separated. You know, I don't like it to sound like a old sob story or like he abandoned us. You know, my dad loved us.
Right.
Sometimes relationships just don't work out. But I just realized that those things affected me as I was aging, you know, growing up. You don't realize it because sometimes life is just happening to you.
Yeah, so true.
But life was good for me, you know, growing up in Edenwald. I can't say that I was mistreated in any way. If I ever was, I always handled it. You know what I mean? So, you know,
man, that's awesome. I like how you said that, right? Because you weren't abandoned or anything like that. You know, sometimes life just happens, unfortunately, and I too, I can relate to that story. You know, unfortunately, some of we encounter that, but it's really how you come back or how you bounce back. And looking at you, you've been able to bounce back, and I know we all have trying times and different things, but it helped mold who you are. And I'm just curious to know then, you know, since we're in your business, like what are some of the things that you know, Sharissa likes to do maybe in her spare time if she's not in the studio or working on new music? Like what are some of the things that you like?
I love to eat, y'all. I do. My husband and I will travel solely to eat. I I love like diners, drive-ins, and dives or something like that.
Right,
All of
right.
those shows. And if I see somewhere, I'm like, honey, I want to go there, and he'll make sure I get there. And I'm eating. I love to eat and travel.
Okay, look. Hey, I'm not mad at that. I think
Yeah.
those are two things. When you have the opportunity to do so,
Yes.
my wife will probably join in with you and say, "Look here, those are two things that she does enjoy when we are traveling or have the opportunity to travel." But I
Mhm.
want to ask you too. Then, so on the other side of the spectrum, there's just things that some of us do. We just have certain things that we just can't stand or we just don't like. So,
Yeah.
what would you say some of the things that for you is a no?
I don't like gossip.
Ah, okay.
You know,
Okay.
like I
Okay.
always try to avoid it. If it starts and I'm in the room, I'm gone. Like I don't like onions. I
Oh,
love the
okay.
flavor, but I can't bite into an onion.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
That's
love an onion, and I will cook with an onion, but I'm always separating it. My
okay.
mom, my grandmother, anytime they make anything for me, they know they make a little separate pan for me because they're like, Sharissa doesn't like onions. I won't eat it. But that's pretty much all that I don't like.
Nah, I'm not mad at you. The gossip thing, yeah, I think the older that we get, the more mature we get, I think I'm the same way. And I mean, and it's different, I guess, for guys. 'Cause guys don't really gossip in that way, but when it starts, I'm look, there's some look. I know there's some
Ladies,
that do. I know there's some that do, but I'm just saying. Usually in my circle,
yeah,
you get called out real quick when you start with that.
yeah,
But I feel what you're saying. Like I can now, I just find myself on the other side now.
that's
I'll find
right.
I'll walk
That's
or
right.
do
Because there's
something.
always someone on the other side of that gossip that is getting hurt. Like we
Yeah.
have to be mindful as a people to take care of each other.
Mm.
We do. We have to stop that. We have to start taking care of each other.
Yes, indeed. So you've
Mhm.
never lied about that.
Yeah.
So last question, as far as trying to dive in and get to know you a little bit better. If you were not an entertainer or in
Mhm.
entertainment, what would Sharissa be, or what would you be doing?
I would be a nurse.
Wow,
I would be a
really?
nurse. Hmm.
That's interesting. You really find that taking care of others is really something that resonates with you and calls from it within you.
Always, always,
Wow.
and to the point to where sometimes I have to stop being maternal in a sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would be a nurse. Now
Yeah.
wait, I'm gonna keep it real. Once COVID hit, it was like,
Like yeah. Put me on pause, right? Catch me after COVID. We don't even know when that's going to be.
come on, like, nah.
I feel you on that though,
Yeah.
but I can see it. You seem like you're very loving and very caring. So
Oh yeah.
I can see that. I can just feel that in your energy. So we talked and we were briefly talking
Mhm.
before we came on,
Mhm.
and I was curious, and I'm just going to ask you too. So when is Sharissa coming back? Can we expect a return? Like, can we get a little something, sis?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll be performing this week in Tampa.
Okay.
Actually, this is me getting back into the group and the swing of things.
Okay.
But I'm just. It's all about the energy for me.
Mm,
I'm not trying to fall in line with what's going on now. It's just really about me and expressing myself the way that I'm feeling now. And sometimes I can open my mouth and nothing will come out. So I just
mm,
have to be honest about
mm,
that.
mm.
I just feel like now is really about the new artists trying to come up. I have
Okay.
quite a few coming out of Edenwall in the Bronx that I felt like, okay, you can chill if you want, but you would be more of service to them if you
Mm.
come on and let's at least just do it enough to get them into,
Right.
you know what I mean, back on,
Right. Right.
but it's more there, that's that maternal spirit again, it's more about them, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, to keep it real. It's not about me anymore. Even my albums before, I thought it was about me, but when I reflect, it's not about me. It's more about,
Mm.
I was trying to get the sisters to be strong and stand up for
Mm.
yourself, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
I love that. I hear growth.
oh,
And not only maternal instincts, but I hear mentorship and growth
mm,
in your words, and I think
oh,
that's powerful. For someone, um, and I just being honest, I've never experienced or had the opportunity to do some of the things that you've done, because your musical background even starts before being a solo artist. You went through the whole, being in a group, being
Mhm.
background, you know.
Forecast. Yeah.
So yeah, like talk about that, because I don't think a lot of people sometimes they just under the impression that when you see that name or that solo artist, that the work, they don't
Yeah.
see the work behind it. So can you
Mhm.
maybe talk about some of that work that went into that fine, finished, polished,
Absolutely.
artist that we see?
Yes, sir. So my first record deal, period, was with RCA Records. I was a member of a group, Forecast.
Mm-hmm.
Bomb group, super dope group. Kia Jeffries, Raquel Dwyer, Keisha Miles, and myself. Super dope group. The album was called Any Weather, produced by Pierre, the incomparable
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pierre. And that was where I really started to get that grooming. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Because, we all came from the hood.
Right. Right.
So they really groomed us and trained us and kind of, sharpened us up a little bit. And that's where it all started. Vocally, the group was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Backgrounds, harmonies. So it really helped me come out of my shell when it was time for me to do my solo project.
Right.
But it was super dope. I mean,
And
all of that helped me. It helped
along the way.
build the woman that I am today. And
So
I'm grateful for it.
and that's the part. Like I said, people don't see, but I also am curious though, with those early experiences.
Mhm.
You have your highs and your lows. Um, did any of that play into maybe why you may have stepped away from the industry for a period of time, just to the wear and tear maybe, and the things that we as fans or followers don't see?
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, I just kind of felt like I was running, chasing something, not, and
Mm,
that didn't feel normal to me. I
mm-hmm.
didn't. I can sing. I didn't want to be a singer. I was just always the girl that could sing, and I kind
Okay.
of felt like after that second album, I was in LA, and it kind of felt like I'm trying to get on, and I had to say no.
Mm,
Let me go and sit down somewhere. They'll see what time it is. They'll miss
right.
me. Like, you know what I mean? They'll
Right.
they'll see what time it is. I'm not gonna beg anybody to get, to put me
Right.
on. I'm just not doing all of that.
Mm.
And I feel like if I didn't stop, I would have been out there selling my soul. Like, you know
Oh
what I mean?
wow.
It
Wow.
wasn't worth it to me. I just kind of felt like, nah, I have nieces. At that point, I had just my nieces,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want them to follow what it seemed like they were trying to have me do, just be
Okay.
super
Okay.
naked and you know what I mean? All of
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
wanted my nieces to be strong young ladies, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I just said, let me go ahead and sit down for a second, which I'm
Good.
glad I did. It was the best thing that I've ever done in my life. Although I've had some trials and it seemed painful at times because your money, you messing with money.
Right.
But the truth is, the best move I've ever could have made for myself. Best move.
Wow. I
Best
mean,
move.
that right there is just that was powerful.
Wow.
Um, because I felt it, because I asked that question because so many youth today,
Mhm.
and like I said, you're dealing with young artists, entertainers who really are trying to break in, and I think the part that really stood out for me in that was selling of your soul, and how you really dug in and chose yourself
Yes.
over this so-called fame and glory,
Right.
because you know when I look at things and how coming back up in our time,
Hmm.
the way music was, it was really selling of skin,
Yeah.
especially when it came to female artists.
Come on.
Like, just call it what it is, and I mean it still is today.
Hmm.
But I think back then that was kind of expected for you to even to have some type of claim. It wasn't even about what your talent was. We need to see some thighs and some breath, and that's powerful. And I hope that people who have an opportunity to listen to this really walk away understanding what you did for yourself, for your health,
Mm.
and for your mental,
Yes.
uh to be where you are today and still stand strong and be able to still give back in the way that you're giving back.
Yes.
That speaks volumes, and I appreciate you sharing that. um but I also want to touch on, because you also talked about because you can sing. And I
Oh,
mean, look, I'm gonna call it what it is. Now, you're right, because
thank
there's some girls or people that whew, that,
you.
they can sing. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes, sir.
you're that person. Like, how do you view some of today's artistry and the work that the industry is doing? You know, with this talent that's coming through today, compared to maybe how it was in your time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we even back then we always knew that the record labels they would not never try to bring out anything fresh and new. If it worked this time, they wanted to keep on doing it, keep on doing it. But now I have to be honest. I love me some Jasmine Sullivan. I love me some her. Like, there are some girls out here that's doing the thing, and I'll just
Yes.
speak up for them. I love
Yes.
those sisters. Like,
Yes.
they are really killing the game. They really
They
are.
they taking it to the next level. Look, ain't nothing like some jazzy, boy. I tell you
Come
that.
on.
Woo-hoo.
That's my girl right
And it
there.
took people too long to really realize her talent. And I guess I have to, but that kind of goes back to the thing that we were talking about. No disrespect.
Yeah.
Like Kelly Price, like, is another person that comes to mind.
Come on.
And I hate to say it, we live in an industry, and selling your soul because of how they may look from an image perspective.
Yes.
And I hate to say it wasn't too jazzy. It seemed like she lost some of the weight.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden she
Yeah.
was more in your face, and I was like,
I know.
this is just backwards. Like,
Yeah.
the
Pressure.
weight, yeah, they didn't
But
stop her
look,
from singing.
me and my friends always say, why we always have to lose weight? Why the fellas can't lose weight?
It's so true.
Come on.
It is so true. And
Just
guys
let
get
me
away with it.
sing. But
Right.
that's what I love about what's going on now with the internet.
Mhm.
Because the truth is, they can't block you.
True.
If you have fans, guess what? Your fans, you can reach out and touch them and sing for your fans. It doesn't matter what you look like. That's what I love about what's going on now. Back in our day, they blocked us. You know what I mean? They shut us down.
None of that. Yeah, it was none of that going on.
Yeah.
You were so true on that one. And I want to ask, because one of the things that I heard, and I think you may have touched on it while we were talking. For you, when you perform, it seems like that was an experience. And like no half stepping. Sounds like that was something that was really personal.
Yeah.
And it was almost anthem like. you know what I'm saying? And it really spoke to two women. And stepping out there, and has a lot of your music now. When I think back and listening and playing in my head, a lot of your stuff sounded personal. Was that really how you operated? Like, was that your best space or place to kind of create your music?
You know what? Some of the music was almost prophetic. Like, to be honest, like and hindsight is always 2020. When you're living in it, that's just the vibe. Sometimes that's just the energy. And some things are ordained. Like, we don't even know what's happening to us. Like, my mom just said to me the other day, she's like, because she's excited about me going back to work and doing the show. She's like, I can't wait for your husband to see you because you're a totally different person on stage. And I don't know that, but when I grab the mic, it's just something else, just something different, So
that's a blessing right there. That's your gift.
Oh,
that is your gift.
I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for it.
Look, I really hope that I know it's been some time, but people, listen to me, listen to what I tell you. If she's in your neck of the woods, get you some tickets and go enjoy the talent and the gift that this sister brings. It'll be well worth your time and your investment. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So right now I'm going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to go ahead and shout out our advertising sponsors here on the show. Don't go anywhere. Right. Hey, look, it's got to come from somewhere. But don't go anywhere, because we're going to be back with this dynamic queen, and we're going to go ahead and just dive into a little bit more with her. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll be right back after the break. Hey yo, so we back. Your man Dame D, NYDC, two mics up. Yo, y'all not tripping. Y'all see the queen right here.
Oh,
Sharissa here. She rocking. But I want to continue, and there's some of these things that now these are a little more personal questions because being from New York and during the time, and this is just my recollection, but now I could be wrong because I'm getting older and everything ain't the same. But I want to say that at the time when you were coming out, and there was another sister that was hitting the scene, MJB, Mary J. Blige.
yeah,
There
she's
was some
already out.
okay, right, okay. So and that's right. She was before you, right?
Yes.
That's right. Okay. But when you hit the scene though,
Hmm.
and if I recall correct, there was some comparison because, like I said, I know you can sing, girl. So, but what was that like? That comparison, and at that stage in your life, was it competition? Was it motivation? Like, what was that like for you?
You know what? To be honest, and I'm gonna be honest always.
Okay.
It wasn't motivation. It didn't feel like competition. It just kind of felt like instead of people making a comparison in a good way, it just sort of felt
Mm,
like it was meant to be
mm,
demeaning in a sense.
mm.
But they've never said like, "Oh, she's whack." They never said that. It was just
Right.
always like, "Oh, she looks like Mary J. Blige," or she's trying to be like. I was just a young girl growing up from the projects, and
Hmm.
that's just who I am. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's nothing I
Yeah.
could do. I love Mary. I remember now I'm not gonna say grew up listening to Mary because Mary, it wasn't that long ago,
Right. Right. Right.
but come on. I mean, I think in our community, think about this. We always have to make a comparison to somebody. Anytime anyone comes out, oh, she looks like give
Yeah.
us all a chance to just be
Yeah.
who we are.
Yeah. And
That's it,
And I think though, like you touched on though, that was the industry though, kind of mimicking, like you said. I think now that I really think about it, mimicking something that they see someone else doing that's working, and instead of working, and this the creative part, like your creation and your talent is totally different than hers, but because that was what's selling,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to make you a cookie cutter and push it that way. And you're 100% right because I never really compared the two.
Mm-hmm.
But just I remember during that time,
Mm-hmm.
it was everything. I mean, it was the same thing like Little Kim and Foxy, and that whole thing. And you never really, a lot of people never got to see you shine or really love and cherish the gift that you were giving.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just always curious what that may have been like for you because it had to be tough. You
Yeah,
trying to come out here on your own.
such is life, but
Mm,
God, such is life,
mm,
but God. If
mm,
they wanted it to do something to me or to make me fall apart, it did not work. So,
mm.
but God, you know what I'm
Whew,
saying? But I
whew.
bet you now when they listen back, it's like because you know what? From all of this, I will say when I'm on Instagram and I'll see someone post something about me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll see in the comments folk talking about the inspiration. This
Mm,
is where it started. That's what
mm,
gives me the strength to keep on moving.
mm,
That right
mm.
there. You know what I mean? Because the
I
truth
love
is,
it.
it's not about us. It's not about
It's
us.
not. It's really
It's
not.
really not about us.
In the industry,
Hmm.
and now we've over the last several years, a certain gentleman, R. Kelly, has really taken a beating,
Yeah.
and uh, and the story, whether depending on what side of the fence you on, whether
Yeah.
true or not,
Yeah.
was really somewhat disgusting as a father, and I'm just speaking for me as a father. It's disgusting. No,
Hmm.
um, it's shameful, it's hurtful, it's painful. But you, at a time, had the opportunity
Hmm.
to work with him. Not to say he's not a genius. The man was talented and all of that. But what was that like? And I'm just going to ask. By chance,
Hmm.
going through that time, like, did you notice maybe anything different, off, or was it just straight a music thing? When you came in, you did your part, you did your thing, and that was it.
You know what? It was all business. And look,
Mm.
I tell my husband this. Back in those days, I was trying to get at him. He didn't pay me for this. I even tell my husband that. No, but the truth is, the record that we worked on, Tank and I worked in the studio together on it. And then
Mm-hmm.
Robert got on it, which was a
Right.
blessing for me because he is
Mm-hmm.
a genius. The
Yeah.
truth is, I am an auntie.
Mm.
I wouldn't play that. You know what I mean? But
Right. Right.
I always say, the video is proof, but we have to I'm gonna mind my business. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Hey, look, enough said.
Yeah, I
Enough
just
said.
it was a great record. I was blessed to have him on it because remember, he is R&B for right
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he jumped on it, to me, that made me feel like, okay, he respects me because he
Yeah.
could have easily said absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Real
But
talk.
he got on it, and I mean, I don't, it's hurtful when I
Mm-hmm.
see those things. Of course, I'm an
Mm-hmm.
auntie. Don't
Right.
play with mine. I
Right.
take your
Right.
head off. You know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
take your head off. But God bless him. I wish the best for him because he has something to deal with right now.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Look, this has been a great conversation,
Oh,
sis.
thank
I really appreciate you, your love, your energy. I wish you nothing but continued success
thank
in
you.
everything that you do. But what else do you see? Maybe for yourself, some things that maybe you haven't tapped into yet.
Mhm.
Maybe some things on the horizon. You know, for you outside of that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm really open. I know that once we see something in our minds, it does become a reality for us,
Mm,
but I'm honestly really just open to the fullness of life,
mm-hmm.
and what it can have for me. Because I don't want to, put myself in a box. Like
Right.
I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to act, I want to, I want to mentor. I want,
Mm,
I can do anything. I
mm.
can do it all. You know what I
You
mean?
ain't never like. And before we go, can you also, if people want to, you got any concert dates? Because I know at the time of this recording,
Yeah.
I know you said you were in Tampa, but
Mhm.
do you see any future dates maybe where you may be out again in the future?
I sure hope so because the funniest thing, I want to go on tour with Tucker and them.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Okay.
my crowd right there.
Okay.
I want to go on tour with Tucker and them.
Okay. Look here, from your mouth to God's ears. Today booking managers and everybody. Look, everybody out here watching the show know him.
There
Hook him
you
up. Hook
go.
him up,
He
right?
took it. Yeah.
That's right. Hook them up. Make this connect right here, y'all.
Yes.
So before we go to, please share any of your, your social media info where you look here, y'all. Go out, support this sister.
Oh,
Follow her.
thank
I
you.
do. Uh, she has some really great stuff. She's fun. She's entertaining. She's positive. She's the whole gambit. But
Thank
please,
you.
before we go, please go ahead and share any of your social media that you want to share
All
with
right.
us.
So on Instagram, it is Sharissa. And then on TikTok is Sharissa the Boo Sipper. But yes, sir, I'm there.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's been our pleasure. Love you too, sis. Continue, like I said, continue success, Queen.
Yes, sir.
We will
Thank
make
you.
sure that we put all of that information down here in the description.
Awesome. I
Uh
appreciate it.
and I'm so thankful. This is the best
Thank you.
way. It's been the best gift for me to start out our new season.
Yes,
To Mike,
congratulations.
thank you. We're continuing to grow. You're gonna see us on network, well, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV.
Yes,
We are actually in the midst of finalizing
nice.
some things. So you want to see us. But right now, as of right now, you know how we do it this time, ladies and gentlemen. If you are looking to advertise or you want to expand your brand, grow your business, two mics up. We taking on newcomers for season 4. Hit us up. You can hit us up online, like we always do at www.2micsup.com. Make sure you follow us across all our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at 2 mics up. And while you at it, if you're watching this, make sure you go ahead and you go down there on this side. I'm sorry, hit that bell and subscribe before you leave so that you can be notified of all the newest content coming to you from us here at 2 mics up. Like we always do at this time, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out. 007.